What's up, YouTube? Prof Sales coming at you along with
Kaaren.
That was weird. You can tell.
Just Kaaren.
You can tell we have not done a show in quite a while. So we're going to jump on and talk to you guys about some eBay stuff and some other stuff. And thanks for joining us tonight on an impromptu show.
Impromptu show.
Karen's got her poo ears on.
It's not poo. They're little ice creams. Just saying.
Seems like they're poo. Yeah, so welcome to the Prof Sales YouTube channel. I'm Prof Sales, of course, and we talk about being a reseller, being an entrepreneur, being in business for yourself, and selling on platforms like eBay, Amazon, and so on, and all kinds of other things. So just having generally a positive community here in our little neck of the woods on YouTube. It's weird phrasing.
And if we encourage anything, it's evolution. Evolution of your mind, body, and spirit, especially when it comes to this reselling game.
Abraham says it's poo, so
Abraham.
Go with Abraham.
See, traitor.
Yeah, I know. So, but yeah, we have not been on for probably a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We told you guys probably back not too long ago that we were not going to be doing as many shows on YouTube, and we haven't. And to be honest, we just haven't had the time to do it. We were gone all last week at eBay Open, which we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. And before that, we had super busy weeks with prepping and shipping and that part of our business, and books as well. So it's just been a crazy couple, not even a few weeks. It's been like a crazy couple months.
Like summer happened, right? And busy happened. What?
You got a little hair here. Sorry.
Thanks. Take two.
Yeah. So someone said they're lip reading. Can you not hear us? Hopefully you can hear us.
Oh, because we didn't do the test.
Oh, 10 Parts has us on mute. Ah, gotcha. Fair.
Hey, speaking of 10 of Hearts, is that Beth Ann? I can't see.
That is 10 of Hearts, right?
So for when Duncan finally gets to see this, I'm not sure if he should be just waking up right about now, maybe. So he keeps telling me that I should get the mammoth, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the mammoth wouldn't fit in a carry-on to Vegas. So I want to share with you our newest mascot.
It is the mammoth.
It's a baby mammoth. How cute is that?
How do you know?
Because it's so tiny.
Seems full grown to me. So yeah, the mammoth is here. That's a long running joke from multiple shows ago.
Right, and it's not even. It's like the mammoth is real. Like, don't kid yourself. It's not a joke, man. It is real.
Yes.
So thank you to Beth Ann for the mammoth. And look at this, another. Like all the pirates are going to be so jealous.
This is like eBay swag.
No, and we're going to do a lot of show and tell over the last month. But can you guys read that?
So you want to be a pirate? Wind chimes. There you go. So you guys know we have pirate sounds here too from Kaaren. But yeah, so we're back from eBay Open, which was last week, which we will get into. But I feel like with 95 people already on this quickly, maybe they're interested in the topic.
Oh, that clickbaity topic?
Well, Kaaren challenged me on the topic and said, do you really owe people an explanation? I'm like, well, I don't owe people an explanation, but I made a post today on Instagram, which you can check me on Instagram, look in the description. And I made a post today that's gotten a lot of comments from people and questions. So I thought I should probably come on and at least talk about, why I made that post and what's going on, just so that there's no miscommunication.
Yes, and I'm here to make sure he doesn't get himself into more hot water. No, just kidding. So we want to be clear on our evolution and where we're going, because it's so funny, don't you? Like, it's almost like this, people read like the title of this video or he said, she said, and then it turns into this big conspiracy, right? And that's not it. One of the things that we pride ourselves here on this channel is it's having, what's it called? Transparency, being open about our successes as well as our failures. And more importantly, our evolution, because we are certainly not the same sellers or resellers that we were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago even. And that's part of I think the most beautiful part about this whole thing.
Agreed. And just to give you guys a backstory, so earlier today, I made a post on Instagram, and I basically put in the post how many pairs of jeans I have, how many pairs of pants, how many pairs of shoes, and some other miscellaneous items that are for sale right now on my eBay account, and ended up being about 600 and 30 items, 25 items, I don't remember the exact count. And I said, hey, these 630 items are for sale. I would like to sell them in all one big bulk, one sale, one fell swoop at one time. They have a value of around, listed value of around $17,000, $18,000, somewhere in that range. And that's probably even a little bit lower than it could be, but I've just been trying to get rid of some things. And I started entertaining offers from people, and I've had some people already reach out to me through direct messaging on Instagram and say, hey, what about this? Or would you do this? And so on. So, but yeah, long story short, we're looking to liquidate all of our eBay listings that we currently have on the platform, about 630 items, which is not like a huge number, but, there's some very specific reasons for it. So we're going to talk about that.
Prof, why are you selling all your eBay inventory? What's wrong?
I don't know why that makes me laugh that you just did that, but it just does.
Well,
I swear we did not even plan this show at all. There is no script, I promise you.
And I like to have a cue sheet, right? So that I know the order and direction. But when he first brought it up, I was kind of like, So I put on the ice cream ears and we're ready to go.
Right.
But what's interesting, what was striking to me, and I was at school all day, so I didn't even know about the post until afterwards. Insert long dramatic sigh here. No, just kidding. But what's striking to me about that is that people assume that you want to sell the stuff, and it's not all our stuff. But they're assuming that because you want to liquidate, something's wrong, something's in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what's really cool and striking to me about that is that it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, we are actually in the best position financially than we have been ever.
Yeah,
right?
no,
Accurate?
that's accurate. And you're exactly right. The assumption is because people are asking on Instagram, what's wrong? What happened? But, and I guess I don't know. I guess as human beings, we're programmed to just jump to the conclusion that something must be wrong because now something's changing. That's not always true. Like, I think a lot of times we change because we feel like we have to, something's changed in our situation and we got to change. So here's what's changed and here's what's going on. Many of we have a warehouse, and then warehouse, we have, obviously a finite amount of space. And right now the warehouse is very, very tightly packed. What is it packed with? Well, it's packed with a lot of items that are going to be part of a prep and ship business that we have been doing for Amazon sellers. In other words, they send us their items and we prepare those items for shipment, label them, create shipments, send them into Amazon, all that good stuff. That is something that's been interesting to me for quite some time now, and we've started doing. The challenge has been that we are very tight on space, and we're also very short on time. So there's two problems there. And when Kaaren and I, over the last several weeks or even months, we've just been talking a lot about, where we're going and what the future looks like. And as we started getting these other opportunities with book selling on Amazon, which really doesn't take up much space because you're doing that FBA and you can do that even out of the house. It's more about the prep and ship business. We realized that, or I came to the realization, I guess, over the last maybe 48, 72 hours that selling on eBay for what we're doing right now doesn't make sense. It's an afterthought at this moment in time. It's something we're doing because we were doing it, but there's no inertia behind it. We're not listing new items. We're not sourcing new items to list and sell on eBay. And we're still spending some time. We're not selling a lot right now. I mean, our sales are really, really low, which is understandable. We haven't listed much or done much with our store. And I just thought, it doesn't really make sense to keep all this stuff here, using up this space, taking up our time, taking up our resources when we have a couple other business models that are more profitable, are requiring more time and energy, and requiring more space. And I mean, I hate to say it this way, but it's kind of in the way.
Accurate.
It's in the way. Mm-hmm. It's in the way. And when I thought about it that way, I thought, well, if it's in the way and we're not putting the time and energy into it, we don't see an immediate future for, our own personal eBay items, why are we doing it? Like, why are we keeping it here? Like, if it's not driving the bottom line, if it's not going to be driving the bottom line, if we're going to move on from it, if we're going to go in a whole different set of directions, why keep doing it? Now, I know some of you might be saying, well, you've already taken that time to list it. and put it out there, and it will sell some. And you're right, all those things are true. But let me explain kind of the workflow for just a second and why it doesn't really make sense. We're not listing new items. We're not promoting our eBay store really at all. We're not pushing to build it or grow it. Yet sometimes, every day things are, if things here or there are going to sell. And the challenge is we have to go to the warehouse every time something sells to process it and ship it. That is not very cost effective if it's only a couple items, 2, 3, 4 items at most. So we're trying to push those items in a place where they can either make us money, either by liquidating it or just getting rid of it. And I just don't think that it makes sense to keep it there given our space and time constraints. It's not even really so much about the money, for the items. It's more about it's the time and energy to put into it at this point.
But you did, at the risk of jumping out of order, because see, I can do this since we don't have a written cue sheet. But at the risk of jumping out of order, you said something to me earlier today that made just amazing sense. So we went to Vegas, and our CPA, Jared, didn't come with us, but he stayed with us, and we spent the week together, and it was awesome. But you guys were and that's the context. You and Jared were talking today.
Yeah.
And in selling that inventory, not only is it going to give us the space, right? Just square footage on the floor of the warehouse, real live space, but it's also going to give us capital, right? Like money to put into the other things that we're doing.
You'll do some of that too.
And that's
absolutely.
And that, I mean, in and of itself, think about it. That's your working capital bump, so to speak. Like, oh, you want to sell more books? Here, we'll swap these jeans. And we can't really do that. Like, we can't. Does that make sense? Like, we're able to put that money into books because obviously that's something that you're really jazzed about.
Right.
And we want to see where that can take us. So that in and of itself was like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Jack asked the question, says, do you control your own destiny? If you rely on others giving you stuff to ship FBA, then you're dependent on the business of others instead of your own efforts.
Great question.
You're always dependent on the efforts of others. I mean, we're not manufacturing jeans. We're not manufacturing shoes. So ultimately, we're having to buy those from other places and go out and find it. I mean, it's going out and finding business, going out and finding jeans, finding shoes, finding whatever it is you sell. You are in the business of finding those items, sourcing those items, photographing those items, listing those items. I mean, you're always dependent upon the efforts of others. I look at it like it's more that it doesn't make sense to continue to put money into a model that we're not 100% committed to at this point. Like, we can't be 100% committed.
No. And Jack, that's who said that, right, Jack?
Yeah.
I asked the same question because we're talking about in January getting a different space, a bigger warehouse space.
Right.
And one of the challenges that I instantly posted to Jason was, okay, but we can't rely only on ship and prep and ship for FBA, right?
Right.
So that's why we're also doing books and some other things. So no, we're not going to only rely on clients and other people feeding our machine, so to speak. Oh, and for the record, we're not closing eBay accounts. I mean, we still have some consignment things that we're going to do, and then I'll still keep my personal eBay account.
Yeah,
it's not like we're going away from the platform. It's just we're going in a different direction. We're evolving, and we're evolving in a big, wonderful way. And remember, folks, we do this full time, both of us together. It's not, something we do only on the weekends or extra hours when we get home or we run out of wear on these shoes, so we're going to put them. And that's not a comment or whatever judgment on anybody that does, but this is the real thing for us. If we don't sell the things, we don't pay the bills. So we have to move in a direction that's going to take care of that for us.
Yeah. And I mean, it's one of those things, guys. We're not unhappy with eBay. We don't think eBay sucks or anything like that. But someone said just now, they said they were talking about
I can't read it.
The jeans and so on, and I can't remember. I can't even see it. That it's a hard business to scale up, and you're right. I think it was Amazon seller. Yeah, and one of the 4 years ago. God, I'll get my words out here in a second. 4 years ago, when I started this, I trying to figure out my why to doing this. It was like, I don't want to work for somebody else, so I'm going to start my own business and be my own boss. That was my why. But now that why has shifted to, I want to build something that can sustain us and give us the freedom and life that we want to go have, without the necessity of micromanaging it every second. Very hard to do that with an eBay business, especially in clothing, but even in general, because of the way the platform is structured. That's not a knock on eBay. It's just the reality of how it's set up. It's hard to set up a business where you can move away from it and still do it. Because I even looked today about, well, could I even sell my eBay store and my feedback and account? eBay doesn't encourage that. They make it very difficult. Apparently it can be done, but it's not easy. But I was like, maybe somebody would find the value in that. Somebody on Instagram asked me about, hey, do the listings include the photos of all the items? It's like, I don't even know how I'd get them to you. Like, it doesn't limit. I realized that my eBay business is very much structured around me and Kaaren. It's not structured around anyone else. And to take the time and the energy to sort of outsource us and get us out of it would be very difficult and very hard to do and very hard to scale. So not impossible, it's just harder. So it just didn't check off the boxes for what we want to do over the next year, 3 years, 5 years, and so on. Like the model just doesn't work for that. I mean, it's really that simple.
Well, and I tend to talk in cliches. Yesterday, I did an entire paragraph in cliche only. But last week, when we were having some conversations with our Amazon friends and our eBay friends, one of the phrases that came up a lot is you can be a jack of all trades, but master of none, right? And we talked in specifically in particular about new people that come to the reselling platform and they want to do all the things all at once. And it's really, really difficult to get very good at any one of those things when you're spreading yourself so thin, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that made a huge difference in all these conversations, because that's, what we're doing. And we're not leaving the eBay. We're just sort of transitioning into something else, right? We're not, I think it's also kind of cool that we like, you started with jeans because you knew them, working at the Gap, etc. And jeans have been very, very good to you. But now with these books, like, you're like a little kid, you enjoy it, right? And it's so refreshing to do something new and to hone your skills into that niche and get better, get gooder at that as well. So that, it's all part of the process, and we're enjoying it. And with okay, I'll be done after this. So your why, right? We talk a lot about the why.
Right.
It's changed from me to we, right?
That's right.
And that's huge. Like, we asked a lot of people, why at the opening, why are you here? And why? Just what is your why? And immediately people want to say, well, I want to make more money. Well, no, that's not.
That's not really a real why.
No, it's not your real why. Like, why? Okay,
you can do that doing lots of things.
Sure, you can. And wouldn't it be great if you did something where you were able to become content, meet your responsibilities, pay your bills, be happy, and enjoy what you're doing? And I know that a lot of people just talk about the grind and we just do it to get through it. But how cool would it be if you could do it and enjoy the process?
Yeah, and I think you're all over it, Kaaren. And I think so many people probably watching this right now, and they're going to watch it later, are stuck in their reselling paradigm in that they've started getting a little success. They started on eBay or Amazon or Poshmark, whatever you're doing, and now you're earning a little income. Maybe you're even part-time. Maybe you're going to go full-time. But then you get trapped in this situation where all of a sudden you realize that without you, it all falls apart. Because I asked one of my friends the other day, who's a big Amazon seller, I said, let me ask you something, because he was doing something in his business that's kind of minutia based. And I said, if you're not there to do that, can the rest of your team go execute the rest of the business strategy? And he said, no. And I'm like, so that's something you need to consider outsourcing, because there could come a day when you're not there, or you don't want to be there, you can't be there. And that's really what I think we should all aim for. If you're going to make this into a business, you cannot make so much of it so centered on you that you are the only thing holding it all together, because there will come a time when you will not be available, or you're not able to do it for whatever reasons. And then your whole business suffers, your financial livelihood can suffer. I just don't want to be stuck in that spot 2, 3, 5 years from now, where I'm sitting there with, 3,000 jeans listings or 5,000 jeans listings, where the number is, and working my butt off and realizing if I stop, it all goes away. Like that doesn't appeal to me at all. Like that puts more stress and pressure on me. And that's why most of us don't like, or many of us who are entrepreneurs don't like working a job anyway. Yeah, we want to go do our own thing and work hard. But at some point, we want to have an end game where we are able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. And you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor if you spend all your time doing the labor. So at some point, you have to break away from it or have a way to break away. And eBay, God bless it, for pre-owned clothing and so many other niches, it's nearly impossible to break yourself out of that. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's very hard to do it and make a significant, sustaining, or even thriving income from it without taking yourself out of it. Like, it just requires a lot of hands on deck to make it all work. And that's just the nature of it, partly like the inventory. That is where Amazon has an advantage, for sure. The ability to send in the inventory and take that huge piece off of your plate, the customer service, the packing and shipping back in, and then just the nature of the other businesses out there. And I'm not singing all Amazon's praises here just to sing it, because Amazon has its issues too, don't get me wrong. But eBay is not set up for a one-man or one-woman band to become fully outsourced and to generate, this income and build an outsourced business. It is very difficult to do it on eBay because of the way the platform is set up. And maybe someday it won't be. And also, there's other issues too with the sell-through and average selling price and velocity and things like that. Those are whole other issues for whole other arguments. But again, it goes back to what I said a month or two ago. I just don't look around the eBay landscape and see super, super successful entrepreneurs that have outsourced almost every part or could outsource every part of their eBay business. They are still the linchpin. They are like the hub that without them in the picture, it all falls apart. And that just doesn't meet our goals. It just doesn't.
Well, and the last comment, is that Amazon seller?
Yeah.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
So we have a comment that says that a lot of our eBay friends and followers will be sad. I would hope that you would be glad. If you think you know anything about us, rejoice in the fact that we're evolving, that we're not becoming stagnant, that we're not just doing the same old just to get us, just because it's how we've been doing it all along. Like, I know so many of you have been in like my situation where you were in a job that you despised and you did it because you thought you had to, and it made you miserable. It made the people around you miserable,
right.
And it sucked the life right out of you. And I think that, a lot of our friends here, and I hate to do this to you guys all the time, but many of our friends are our age, or they're our demographic, or even
right.
older.
Right.
And that's no slight on you guys that are younger. Just get over it for a second.
Old farts. You
young farts. But really, like, we're at a position where our priorities are not to make $1 million, because, we've been there. Like, we've been in a situation
where
where
$1 million.
Yeah, I used to make $1 million every year. And it's not the end all, to be with the people, to spend time with people you care about, to do the things you love doing,
right.
To feel fulfilled in here. And I don't mean to like sound all sappy, but I'm telling you, you're going to get to the point where all this gerbil circle, remember, hamster wheel stuff, it's not worth it. Like, life is not about getting up and doing the same thing every day just because you've been programmed that that's how you have to do it. Like, there's life outside of the hamster wheel, right?
Yeah.
And there's better. It's better. So
yeah.
I would hope that anyone that sees this, one, I hope that you get past the title and then you don't write us and say, up in arms, because I think we're doing a fairly good job, explaining what we're doing and why we're doing it. We always have. But don't be sad for us. We hope that you'll be glad and you'll continue the journey with us, because it's not like it's over. It's just going to be different. We'll still maintain ties to eBay. Some of our very good friends are going to continue. They have big eBay businesses. One in particular just got appointed. What's Yvonne's new?
Like the social influencer diversity council.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Congrats, Yvonne. Right? Yeah. That is amazing.
It is.
Really, kudos to her. So we'll still be, but it's just, be glad for us, because this is a good thing.
or unless you like being in the hamster wheel, which is subjective. Yeah, and some people, I think some people think that for a while because they think at some point they're going to be the person, deciding how fast the wheel spins, but then they find out they're not. So, I mean, I get your point. It is a matter of perspective. Brian said they're going to be tied to a warehouse or hire help. I think with I think with the model that we're building, we absolutely can see a day where our business is outsourceable, and we can not outsourceable, but could be run by employees. And also, to someone else's point earlier, I look at like the prep and ship business that we're building. That is not dependent on any one person. That can be dependent on multiple customers and clients. So I like that. Where could all the even if they were all Amazon sellers, it's unlikely they would all get, banned or suspended at the same time. Like I see that as a business that can diversify out to where we have, some leverage between having multiple customers and clients. We're not so dependent upon one particular thing. So I like that aspect of that business quite a bit. Books is obviously contingent upon us being able to sell on the platform, which is a whole nother animal.
And we're looking to not.
Oh, there's Yvonne. Yeah, there she is.
Oh, Yvonne, did you hear your congrats? Did she hear? Yay! LOL, I'm here. That's grand. So, and hopefully I didn't completely flub your new awesome title of wonderfulness. But Ben just turned 18. That's my son on Sunday. And we're taking him to get his driving test, aren't we?
That's right.
So exciting. So he may, because he's got to pay for certain car things and insurance, he may become our first unofficial employee, but we're looking to hire someone to help us with books and prep and shipping in September.
September, yes. Some other questions. Thanks for all the questions, guys. Wow, 193 people are watching. That's
wow,
crazy number. I guess the title was clickbaitish enough. I swear I didn't make it just to be clickbait. I swear I didn't. But I was trying to be honest because it's like, hey, this is what we're doing. Would you come back to eBay with the new employee hub? I mean, maybe. I mean, who knows? I don't think I would come back and sell pre-owned clothing because I just believe that the model, while from a margin percentage is great, from a margin dollar percentage is not so great. And the sell-through, the velocity on eBay is just not strong enough in a lot of these categories, these niches of clothing, to really build up a scalable business very easily. Not impossible. Again, not saying that. I know my friend Luke over at Endless Entrepreneurs is trying to do just that and building that. I know some other people are working on that. But even he's branching out to Poshmark and so on, and he's got real estate ventures. I mean, guys, you should be diversifying. Like if you're putting all your eggs in the eBay basket, what happens when the basket gets a hole in it? And one day it probably will for whatever reason. So we're doing the same thing. We just think that eBay. We will still sell some books on there. I would think that do not, like if we pick up a restricted book for Amazon, we can still sell on eBay a lot of times. That happens from time to time where something doesn't quite meet our qualifications. We have a few consignment items we will keep on there as well. So it's not like our account will go totally away, but we definitely want to liquidate, the jeans and the shoes. Like you see some of the shoes behind us. We have about 125 pair of shoes we want to get rid of, including some new ones, which are pretty cool.
And don't forget 2 ties. Like, did you really put
2
that
ties
on your Instagram post? Like,
hey,
really?
I'm bringing the value.
We have 700 pair of jeans, 200 pair of shoes, and 2 ties.
Did the travel plans change? No, we are leaving Monday, and we will not be back. Brian. Brian. Yeah, we're leaving Monday on special assignment. And we won't be back until almost Labor Day weekend. So we're kind of going to be out of pocket for a month, which is going to be nuts.
It's going to be awesome.
Or awesome. Karen's like, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, so will you sell it by Saturday? Probably not.
The one thing that we were not in agreement on, I'm like, oh, great, put up an ad for it, but you'll have to take it right down again because we won't be here to.
Yeah. Somebody said, I noticed your attitude changed about reselling. Maybe. I mean, that might be accurate in some ways.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm not sure. Lisa asked it while watching your recent videos here. I knew your attitude changed. I think the attitude was always been the same, but I'm willing to put myself out there for a while and see what works and see if it makes sense for what we're doing. I mean, we've sold jeans on eBay for the past, 3-4 years now, whatever it's been. Shoes for a couple. It's not like we're fly by night sellers here and we just try something for a day or week and then we're done with it. We've definitely put in our time and energy in learning some of these niches and models. We've sold shirts, we've sold pants, we've sold DVDs, CDs, games, all kinds of other things too. So I just think that, like, we basically are able to, adapt and evolve, because that's what you have to do in this business. So
just make him go away. Ban him for life.
It's okay. But anyway, yeah, so we actually are, just evolving. Sorry, somebody was trolling a bit there. That's always interesting.
It's been a while, so
I know.
We still get it.
Yeah, gotta have it troll there. I guess they'll keep changing accounts. I'm sorry, you're sad with your life. It's kind of sad.
Did it come up again?
No, I mean, I'm just saying that person's probably really upset with whoever they are.
I think you're probably right.
He doesn't like who they are. Let's see. How are you handling Amazon FBA fees? I knew when I was with the fees were killing me. You definitely got to watch. I mean, you got to watch fees on any of these platforms. They all have fees. You just treat it like anything else. The business expense, the way I look at it. They're providing marketing. They're providing payment processing. They're providing a customer base. They're providing a way for people to come and find my products. They're charging me for it. They're providing warehousing. They're shipping the item. They're handling customer service. That's what Amazon does. And for that, they charge me a fee. I just look at it as a cost of doing business. I mean, I know we get all crazy about fees in the reselling community, but the reality is, guys, these platforms have to charge you fees. It's how they make money. I would do the exact same thing if I ran them too. You can decide whether or not the fees are worth it. But ultimately, it kind of sucks because the customer on the end is who ends up paying the fees, because you're going to have to push your prices up a lot of times, which is just reality. But I don't get too crazy about the fees. I mean, if in a certain category it was no good, I don't know. But so anyway, what else?
So going back to the comment about noticing that our attitude had changed, and you said how we've tried something and we do it and we put the time, to be invested in all of the process. We do. So whatever, and we've tried things like we put a lot of time, we over analyze and over spreadsheet and over, but we do, like, and with the books, what's interesting about that to me is that we've put in the time and we've decided that, hey, we like it. And maybe, and maybe the shoes, like you hate cleaning shoes. True?
True.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
I like it. It's very therapeutic. I'm right there with Tino. I would probably, if I drank, I'd sit there and have a beer with him and we'd video chat because, he's that kind of guy, right?
Right.
But we do, like, we put in, and I think all of you should. Like, if we ask you or challenge you to do anything, do something. Like, don't just sit there and think about it, sort of hypothesize in advance. Like, that's the one thing that new sellers, new entrepreneurs get hung up on. It's failing to pull the trigger. And you learn whether you succeed or you fail. And I would challenge you that you probably learn more in failure and it makes you stronger and better. But you'll never know if you don't do. And we'll try anything once. Can I say that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. And it was important to us in all of these things to immerse ourselves. Like, how do you know if you're going to like something? How do you know if you're going to be good at it? How do you know if you're going to be profitable if you don't try it? Right.
No, that's absolutely right. And somebody said, what did you think about the eBay CEO speech or interview? That was actually a pretty good speech. I actually enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I thought the things he said about handling sales tax were encouraging, that if they have to do that would be that eBay will figure it out. I wish the interview had been a little more hard hitting that at the eBay Open, but I kind of understand too, like you only have so much time. You can't have it go on forever and ever. But because I would have asked, I would have liked to seen them talk about Amazon, because while eBay is not directly in competition with Amazon, Amazon is nearly half of the online sales in the world. Retail sales. So it kind of makes sense to talk about, is there a strategy to mitigate Amazon's, taking so much of the market share, because eBay obviously has a vested interest in keeping a lot of market share for the online sales retail pie. And he's right. There is still tremendous room to grow. Mm-hmm. The CEO said he's right. There's still a lot of sales that can come online that have not been online. So I thought overall it was a good presentation, a good Q&A. Somebody is asking too about your price for books or how much they cost. I average the cost on a given day and just say, all right, we bought 100 books and spent, $200. So they had an average cost of $2 this day. But AcceleraList is a listing app we use. You can find a link to it in the description, I think. And AcceleraList has a great way to put in your buy costs like an aggregate. You can say, all right, I'm listing these 100 books, and I'm going to say they all average the buy cost of $2. And it'll also keep track of your long-term storage fees, like when they're coming up, and start warning you about it, so you can make some decisions on whether you want to get rid of those books, ship them back to you, liquidate them at a lower price, whatever you want to do. So definitely check out AcceleraList, which is a great way to list books. There's other listing apps too.
Mark is asking about any suggestion on a shelving unit for 18-gallon bins.
Where?
One that's big enough to...
Shelving for 18-gallon bins. I don't know.
Sounds heavy. Like you'd need something kind of sturdy. The one we get is the black plastic from Lowe's, right?
Yeah. Yvonne said they won't even say the word Amazon for real. I know. I'm like, I mean, eBay is not. eBay is in competition with Amazon for market share, but it's a slightly different. It's a different customer experience and expectation. I still would have liked to have heard him talk about Amazon at least somewhat, to say, we're not going to be Amazon. This is where we think our niche in the market is. This is what we think our advantages are, and what we're going to, it's like Gary Vee says, push your advantages. Don't worry about the things you suck at. eBay doesn't need to start a fulfilled by eBay. I think that would be massively expensive and a mistake. They don't need to do that. They already have a big seller network of people who are storing stuff at their home and selling it. So focus on that. Focus on what you're good at. Don't get so caught up in trying to be Amazon. Just figure out ways that you can outmaneuver them in other areas where you have an edge. So.
Well, and it doesn't have to be a dirty little word or something that you don't say. Embrace it. It is what it is. eBay exists. Amazon exists. I would have liked to have heard, how are we going to do it differently?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not so much... there was kind of a dig in that original speech, right? A little bit about the whole sales tax and everything. But it would be a game changer if eBay did provide the software, where eBay did do the sales tax for everybody, everywhere, in every situation. That would be huge, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, and they should do that. They were adamant about they didn't want that sales tax ruling to go the way it did. So eBay should jump on it right now and say, hey, we got you covered. And it looks like they're going to. So hopefully they will. Yeah, there's the mammoth. Any mammoth references, Euro Extreme. Besides diversity, what advice would you give new sellers? I'm not sure what you mean by diversity, like diversity of selling things.
Streams, income streams, I would imagine.
Yeah, and also, diversify your income streams. I think you should find a few niches and really go after those instead of trying to be wide and see everything.
Are you going to walk by money in a Goodwill?
Sure.
Sure. But are you going to waste more time trying to buy all the things at all the times? Yes. So get good at a few things first, and then you can always branch out. Trust me. If the money is there, you can do it. Another advice, put the money that you make in the business back into the business.
Yeah. For sure.
You're not going to grow or be able to sell more thingies or buy more thingies if you're not reinvesting in yourself. I think that's huge. People forget about that. They go and they, buy groceries or gas or, get their nails done or whatever. And that's not going to build your business. It's just not. It's going to make you some extra spending money, sure, but it's not going to make your business bigger or better.
Yeah. Yeah. And we will probably be liquidating the shoes and shoe racks as well. The shoes are definitely part of the sale. The shoe racks, I'm sure we can do something too, because I don't think we'll really need them. Can't think of any reason. Yeah,
we even tried to figure out how to use them for books, but it's not going to happen. It just won't hold them.
Your Extreme says, not if it's a $20 bill on the floor. Yeah, that's a little different. But I just think that, you should focus on a few niches and just, try to master those and get good at those and then move on to maybe something else. Not even master it. Like you never totally master it, but you get good enough that you can. Because here's the thing, guys, we've said this a million times, but when you go after a niche in eBay or Amazon or wherever you're selling on, you get so good and efficient at it. Like you get faster. And when you're faster at something, you can increase your hourly rate because you're able to accomplish things quicker. You're able to source faster, you're able to list faster, to photo faster, to deal with any issues faster, to measure something faster, to describe it faster. I mean, speed turns into profit. It just does. So that's why I think you should go after a few niches instead of saying so wide where you're always having to look everything up. It would just be silly. I mean, imagine if we were going in the store and trying to look up every book, like typing it into Google, and trying to find out if a book is worth selling. Like we'd be there forever and only do like 30 books. That's why you get a scanner. That's why you have scanning software. I mean, those are efficiencies.
Well, and for new sellers, not to go, we should talk about other things soon, but
yes.
For new sellers in particular, one of the things that is under discussed, I think, is shipping. And not only preparing and planning on your shipping before you make the listing. And I'm talking about how much it's going to weigh, how much it's going to cost. You don't wait to figure that out until after. You do it before. And if you're brand new, I know that sounds counterintuitive, but look into it. It's a real thing. But with shipping, like you can't have on hand consistent shipping materials if you're selling roller skates and books and jeans and microwave ovens and unless you have this big warehouse, you just can't. So there's a lot of good to be said about fine-tuning your processes and the amount of money that you make, the less time that you spend based on those niches. I mean, think about how streamlined your business becomes when all you have to do is grab that PFRE, that padded flat rate envelope, and booyah, you're done. Because all you ship are ties or jeans or shirts or whatever.
Right. So, all right. So should we talk?
Let's talk about a
little bit here for the open or whatever.
Yes. So we went to Vegas and it was 113 degrees out there.
Too hot.
Holy moly. Henderson is a lovely town. We spent a lot of time there.
Yes.
Went for a walk in the middle of the evening and it was still 106 degrees. But it was absolutely beautiful. Got to meet the best part, and I'm just messing. The best part was we got to meet so many of you there. We had dinner with Beth Ann and Adam. Thank you so much for taking us to Hell's Kitchen, Adam. That was one of the coolest things, and we took great pictures, did we not?
Yeah, we did.
And if I try to name off everybody that we met or I took selfies with, oh my goodness, it would just, we'd have to start another show. But I can tell you that everyone, with an exception or two, no, I'm just kidding, was exactly the people that I hoped and thought that they would be. Right?
Yeah, it was good.
Like so many of our YouTube friends that have shows or that we've interacted with online before turned out to be the most amazing people, right? We met some just, we met some characters too, but it was great fun. What do you think about it?
Well, speaking of food, because people were talking about Hell's Kitchen, another Gordon Ramsay restaurant, Burger.
That was your favorite.
It's pretty good for you too. Highly recommend it. It's called Burger. They serve a lot of burgers. They serve a few other things too, but check it out. It's in Planet Hollywood. Very, very good.
The affiliate link's in the. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Ramsay's places know how to cook, make food.
He's my cousin, so I told him I'd promote. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like he's not.
No, he's not Norwegian. I'm just saying.
No, definitely not. Yeah, so it was definitely a lot of fun, guys. The networking was great. We spent some time, sightseeing a little bit. Went to Hoover Dam, which was cool.
Oh, that's Gary's present. I can't show anybody that.
Yeah. And eBay had a lot of swag that they gave out and a lot of cool.
Oh yeah, we went to the Hoover Dam. That was amazing with Jared, and we took squinty selfies because the sun was very bright.
Oh.
But so like in case anyone doubts that we were there, look, I don't even know what it says. What does it say?
Did you check eBay?
Yeah.
That's what it says.
So we got these cool T-shirts that you probably will never wear.
I might.
And the one thing about eBay, like my only criticism about the open, and I think for some people it actually was, well, yeah, this was your idea, man. Stay awake.
I'm still a little bit on Vegas time.
So I think that it was a very excessive event. Like there was, and some people there this year said it wasn't excessive enough, right? But the copious amounts of food and open bar and all that, it was grand. Like for me, more than anything, the Open is a big kumbaya PR move for eBay. And I don't begrudge them for that. I think it's brilliant. It's a great way to say thank you and give back to the eBay community. But not only did we get a t-shirt and a swag bag in the beginning, but we also got one on the way out after the big party. Right. And so I'm going to show you some of the things. Like this was the first one, right? That was one swag bag. Boopa-doopa.
Bag o' swag.
I could auction this off on eBay, right?
Yeah, they had a big party Thursday night, guys, with open bar for like 2,000 people.
Sunglasses.
So when you're paying those extra fees,
you can blame me and my sunglasses.
No, I'm saying the big open bar for 2,000 people. Bar. I'm like, oh my gosh, this bill is going to be massive.
Ben already got a set of these, but this was cool. Today is your day. All right, what else? Oh, so, all right, these are nice.
Yeah, little water refresh. And by the way, drink water when you go to Vegas. They ain't kidding.
Oh, look, here's my name tag. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was being a funny girl, and all my buttons, you don't have to show anything for these. They just give them to you. So the name tag, I was being silly when I registered, and these are lyrics to a song, but it asked for position and your company, and I said Queen of Nothing at All. And lo and behold, Kaaren Schultz is the Queen of Nothing at All.
Name that song for extra credit points in the chat, if you can.
All right, now this one doesn't make any amount of sense to me, but I'm going to share it with you. Like, we got these. That'll be the thumbnail of the video, right?
Living the dream.
So
living the dream with your eyes closed and underneath the mask.
Eyes wide open, right? Like, what's that all about? I'll put my poo on there too. There's another mask. We got a pencil, and then these were cute, but you know, keychains I think are a bit undone. But undone. Oh, these say boss.
Boss.
And then the piece de resistance. Aside from this very cool, the exit bag was actually the better bag. I think best week ever. But this was the neatest thing, and Ben coveted his, and I gave him mine, by the way. But look, they gave this power brick.
Yeah, little power charger for your phone.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. So that's all my swag stuff that I got, I think.
Yeah, and I got the same. There's no reason for me to show mine, too. Because
show me mine. So we did end up sourcing while we were out there, and we took Jared along with us. And I think we should do a show just on that. We
took our accountant to eBay. Open.
Anyone can be an accountant. He's a CPA, remember?
That's true, actually. He's a CPA. I want to get it right.
Let's be clear.
Certified.
So Certified Lean.
Oh,
name that song.
Oh, he cheated on Google. Nice. It's a good song.
It's a great song. Yeah. So, but Jared came with us, and it was just something else. And who does he source more like, me or who do you think? He was like, "Come on, just one more store, one more store."
We didn't even really go. How many stores we go to? 3?
We only went to like 3. We got like. And what's funny is a rookie thing to happen was we went into the first Savers and went through, and their books are more expensive than we're used to here. And so we ended up putting back several books because they just didn't quite make it based on price. We get to the cashier, and apparently it was half off day, and we didn't even know it. So
such rookies.
Pro tip. Find out when your deal days are. If there's a color.
Read the signs when you go in the store. Turns out they had a big sign.
I wasn't going to say that part. But yeah, so become familiar with your surroundings. It really takes little to no effort. But we sourced, we sourced more, a couple because we actually tossed them. But 2 Savers and
which we had not sourced before for books.
Yeah, cool. That was a first for us. And we do like the Savers. But 100 books. And that would be a whole separate conversation about how Amazon sellers that travel, that are on the road a lot, can relate to this. But it is a completely different animal when you source, no matter what it's for, on the road. Most of us are used to doing that and bringing it home. But we brought our Dymo printer, our little Dymo label printer with us through security, and we sourced and we shipped those books on the road.
You forgot the best part, though.
the going through security with it?
Yes.
You tell the story.
So it turns out my suitcase got flagged and pulled by TSA, and they walk over and they're like, this woman, she did like the slowest walk in the history of walks. I'm telling you, she was walking so slow, she was virtually standing still. And I'm sitting there waiting like, hey, we got a flight, you know, can we go here? She's going through stuff and then pulls out the Dymo label printer, runs it through some little thing to detect if it's got explosives on or not. So,
you know, the
bigger.
wipey pad things to find GSR or whatever?
It's big. If it's bigger than your cell phone, you shouldn't have it in your luggage. So
it was so funny.
I'm like, of all the things to trip TSA, the Dymo label printer did.
What is this thing?
Yeah, she's looking at it like, is this some sort of bomb? She didn't say that, but I'm thinking like she thinks it's like C4. Like I'm literally just going to blow up the airport right here.
She did.
But it was not. It was just a label printer.
But that in and of itself was a great experience because, you know, like Bearded Picker does it all the time. But like we already know how we would do it better and how we would do it differently. And when we go out of town next week, we're going to do it a little differently.
Yeah. I would say too, guys, just kind of thinking about the math of it. If we'd have gone to Vegas and spent maybe 2 full days sourcing, I think we could have paid for the trip.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I really do. Like, I think we would have found another 150 books, maybe even 200. I mean, we would have found a lot because it was obvious to me that whoever was scanning out there, going through their books, weren't using the exact same parameters, you know, that we were, which is great. And we didn't even hit any of the thrifty bookstores in town that have some cool one-off thrifty stores there.
And we didn't go to any yard sales or estate sales, and that's always an opportunity. We did go to one bookstore.
Yep, we went to Bauman's. If you've never been to it, it's in the Grand Shops on Canal.
Grand Canal Shops.
Grand Canal Shops.
Yep.
Go there. If you're a book person, they have all these rare books.
First edition Fox and Socks, Dr. Seuss for like, I don't know, $3,200 or something. I'm going to say that wrong, but there were several first editions. Stephen King and Straub wrote a book together at one point. I don't remember the title, but that first edition was like unbelievable. But it was this museum of, and we love books anyway, but to see there were books, there was a photographic history from and about the Civil War that was, they had it behind glass. They wouldn't let me touch it. But that was, to me, that was very special. That book was amazing. It was a whole series, actually, that was just amazing.
Yeah, Brent asked if we went by Pawn Stars. Funny, and he's mentioned that because Bauman's, if you've watched Pawn Stars, that's who they usually use for book authentications.
We did see the woman that does that.
I think so.
Chunky, what's his name?
I'm not sure anymore. Was her
Chunky? What's his name?
Chumley.
Oh,
Chumley.
Sorry.
I don't know. Chunky Bingo. Wow. But yeah, it's a cool store, so check it out. It's a little off the beaten path, but at least you'll be inside and cool, which is nice. There's all these high-end shops there in the Grand Canal Shops. Very, very expensive places, but some other cool places too.
Our friend Sue is a traveling FBA saleswoman and kills it, right? But every time she goes out of town, even, I don't know, she just went on vacation recently though, so I wonder if she did it on vacation, but she tries to source wherever she goes to pay for her trips. I think a bunch of our friends are at ASD, which happened right after the eBay Open, and so many of them are on the road. They're like, you know, living the van life, right? And we did decide that wherever we go, it makes sense to offset the travel with sourcing. Why not?
And probably the fact too that I did not go to one single seminar at eBay Open. Not one single meetup or not one single like breakout session or, you know, like this person's talking about this. That further solidified, you know, that we need to move on from selling on the platform at this time. Because it's like, and it's not because I couldn't learn something. That's not why I didn't go. It just didn't appeal to me the same way it would have like even 6 months ago because of the way, you know, some opportunities have come our way in the past, you know, a few months. And just sort of the way things have evolved. And it's like, man, we were talking about, it's like, man, we spent this money to come out here. We're not even going to these seminars, and, you know, but it was still a lot of cool events and so on. And Vegas is always such a cool city. You can always find something to do in Las Vegas.
Well, and tell the truth, like at some point right before we left, we were both kind of like, you know, what are we planning to do while we're out there? Because we didn't do a big YouTube blitz while we were there. While a lot of our friends did, yay. Hopefully that y'all will get some sort of a better idea of what went on there than you're getting from us right now. But you made a decision that I am so proud of. And I don't know, people that were with us there know this. But before we left, you said we are looking at this trip as a vacation. That's not a word we say in this house, people. We do not go on vacation. We do not get vacation. A lot of you can relate when you're in business for yourself and you do not have employees.
I feel like you never take a vacation
to run the shop while you're gone. So we made a conscious commitment that we were just going to have the fun, and we were going to celebrate and enjoy the people and experiences in our life while we were out there. And we did. We got to spend some amazing time. I don't know if some of our friends would think the same way, but we got to spend some amazing time with some amazing people, right?
For sure.
And even just like sitting on the couch, just hanging out, talking, like we don't even really get to do that so much.
We swam in a pool. I haven't swam in a pool in like 5 years.
We did.
It's a little thing, but it's like, you think, wow, this is cool,
Like we hung out and we don't get to do that. We're always, always, always on the go.
Yeah, for sure. And it was nice to just sort of not have such an agenda around it. Seeing Hoover Dam was amazing. I'd never seen it, even though I've been to Vegas a few times. We didn't get to go to Grand Canyon because it just didn't work out for timing, which is a little bit further away. But
we'll get there next time.
Yeah, and I did not play any poker if Sadie's still in the room. Sorry. I did play some blackjack and craps and ran up a little, not much, not even worth talking about. Up is up. Up is up. By
accident, John and I played a slot machine while we were waiting for the burger place.
Yeah, that part did not go
That
well.
was not pretty.
That was
but it was what? Each bet was like 30 cents. It was just goofy. But it was, we had an opportunity to just stop and be goofy. And it was so cool.
But you need to have that time off, guys, from your business or from your life or whatever you're doing. It's important. You have to re-energize and recharge. And so when you go away somewhere like that, plan at least a day to just chill out. And Vegas is obviously a good one. The eBay Open, because it was Tuesday through Thursday, the activities, you could sort of make a Monday to Friday or even Saturday to Friday trip out of it. And then you can have a day to just chill, do what you want to do, take some time to see the sights. There's a lot of sites in Las Vegas, some suitable for work, others not. But there's plenty to do and see there. So always think about that when you go somewhere.
Well, and I don't think you realize how badly you need to decompress in this business until you're decompressing. Because we're all always on the go. 24/7, we're on. We're subject, like even as parents, we're subject to phone calls at all hours. And we're always, always on. And I don't think you realize how much you need to take a breath until you're there. And you don't realize what a blessing that time is. You don't realize what a blessing each other is, or the friends in your life or your family, until you just take a moment to appreciate them and to appreciate the time that you're able to spend and share together.
Absolutely. So, well, listen, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully that answers the questions about what we're doing with eBay and Amazon and selling off our inventory. Make sure you check out the description of this video for all kinds of helpful links to our social media and some of the things we use in our business as well.
Yep, and we're not going anywhere. We're just changing. We're evolving, and hopefully you guys will change and evolve right there along with us.
How many books did we ship? We shipped 99.
99.
Which was annoying.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's another day.
But we got her done.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
But thank you guys for joining us tonight. Make sure you leave us a question or comment if you're watching this later, and we'll do our best to answer it.
Oh, funniest thing, I have a quick story. We were waiting in line to get to the final after party at the eBay Open, and some guy goes, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" Never mind. And everyone's laughing, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I was the only one in the group that didn't get that a man was joking with Just Ask Kaaren about asking a question. So virtual high five to that funny guy. I wish I could have caught up with him later, and I would have just given him the biggest hug because I thought that was the funniest thing. So as always, this is Just Ask Kaaren
and Prof Sales
saying good sales to you.